Welcome back to another brand new episode of E on the Mic. I'm your host E, and today we're gonna go over the top 10 quarterbacks in the league coming up to this brand new season for the NFL. Yes, training camp is finally here for us, finally getting some content there as well. But it's still technically the off season here. Might as well start getting out my list, my very own list of who is my top 10. But let's start with our honorable mentions. So our honorable mentions will be Derek Carr and Kyler Murray. Why do I say those two are out of the top 10, but they're also considered honorable mentions? Derek Carr. Let's start with Derek Carr at number 11. I really have him outside right there. It was really tough, especially who I have at number 10, which we'll get to that pretty soon, but it's very close there. I can understand where the debate is right there, especially Derek Carr has great new weapons now. Devontae Adams is in there. You have Darren Waller, Hunter Renfro, Josh Jacobs right there in that squad to help Derek Carr succeed. You got to look at last year. He had more than 4,000 passing yards. He had 23 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, which was kind of a little bit issues there for Derek Carr. He looked great in the beginning of the season, and then he kind of slimmered down last season there. You also got to look at his completions. His completions was 68.4. He completions there, QBR 52.4 in total there. And I really do see Derek Carr succeeding this year. I think he's just really outside the top 10, just close. It's just close. He's just out there from my top 10 list. As we go into Kyler Murray now, which he had last season was 24-10. He had some little bit injuries there and then. He had some issues with his hamstring last year, which was linger him in the sidelines for most of the time, especially after that great beginning of last season, especially having DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green last season, which that's going to be another factor why I do not have him in the top 10. I think he's going to start struggling a little bit there, but he's worth taking to be honorable mentions as well. Has a 69.2 completion rate with a QBR of 54.4, which is phenomenal for Kyler Murray. He just got his contract extensions. Hopefully that clause of him looking at film is not going to be a huge factor for Kyler Murray. But I do see him succeeding after Hopkins gets out of his suspension or 6 games due to PEDs. As of right now, this wide receivers right now is AJ Green, Hollywood Brown, Andy Isabella. You got Zach Ertz in there, James Conner. So recipe for success there. A little bit tough schedule there for Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. But I feel as of right now, Kyler Murray is just outside my top 10. Now we go into our top 10. Our number 10 I have on my list is Lamar Jackson. Why is Lamar Jackson top 10? It was really close. I really had it close with Derek Carr and Jackson there. Yes, Jackson did struggle last season. He did have some injuries there. He went 7-5 last year. You also got to look back at the Ravens squad last year. They were a banged up team. They barely had their running backs. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards went down early last year to the point where you start hearing Bell, Devontae Freeman in the running back position there. Yes, they did lost Hollywood Brown in the offseason there, so now all you got left is just Bateman at this point in time and Mark Andrews, really, what is left now as the receiving core, and they're going to get the running backs back for Dobbins and Gus Edwards there. You look back at Lamar Jackson's last year, went 16 touchdowns, 13 interception, just didn't have a great completion rate going for 64.4, which is still pretty good, but his QBR was 52.2, which brings him down to number 10 there. Last year I had him at 6 last year. I'm putting him right now at 10 there. Just a I think he's going to succeed with this offense that he has right now, especially to get Tyler Linderbaum from Iowa to help give him protection there and give him some run ability, since that's what's great about Lamar Jackson. He can throw the ball, excuse me, and he can run the ball as well and pass the ball as well. Now, question is, yes, he has a receiving core is down. I think he can succeed with his offense there. And this is where I have it as of right now, number 10 on my list. As we're going to our number 9 list on our top 10, we're going to put in Dak Prescott. Good old cowboy Dak Prescott. I was thinking of putting him at 8. I just think he's preferable at number 9 there. You look at him last season, there more than 4,800 passing yards, 37 for 10 last season there. had a QBRs of a 66.6 last year. You look at him there. You look at his offense right now. Currently, he has CeeDee Lamb number one. No more Amari Cooper. He has no more Amari Cooper now. He still got Michael Gallup into the mix. You still have Ezekiel Elliott, Pollard. You still have a somewhat great of a line there to make him succeed there, especially the NFC East as well, where he can reign. I know in the beginning of this season it's going to be tough for him. It's going to be tough with opponents like Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for example, and the Chiefs and the Rams. So those are going to be tough teams to play against. But near the end of the season, he should be well right up there in the top tens. So this is the reason why I have Dak still in the top tens. He's showing us a phenomenal player there. He's a great quarterback there. Not in the playoffs, but regular season, comeback, garbage time quarterback puts him on there at number 9. Going to number 8 now is our Super Bowl champion quarterback, Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford last season, yes, is a little bit of hype. Yes, I really have Matthew Stafford at number 8. Great, phenomenal quarterback to watch, especially on the Rams, having weapons like Cooper Kupp. Gonna have weapons like Allen Robinson, Tyler Higbee's coming back there, Cam Akers. He's gonna be fully healthy this year. Gonna be great to see that Rams offense to succeed with Matthew Stafford there. You look at his QBR, a 63.8, which is definitely great for Matthew Stafford, going 41 for 17. He had some struggles there against tough opponents there, like the 49ers. He had some tough times playing against them besides the NFC Championship game. He had a lot of great moments, but a lot sometimes like the Packers and the 49ers game where he struggled the most in mighty, especially in completions in the game. So there's a reason why I have Matthew Stafford at number 8. Number 7 on our list is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, yes, he's coming off of injury. He has some injury prone, especially with his throwing hand. He had some struggles there last year, especially losing to Chicago and Seattle. But he's in a new team now where he can has protection to help Russell Wilson in his game to improve his game. Last year he had 3,000 yards, also going for a 54.7 QBR, 25 touchdown to 6 interception ratio last year as well. When you look at that with the weapons he has right now, he has a great offensive line. Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon combination, Jerry Judy, Cortland Sutton combination as well. Gives him great success to bring Denver back into the playoff competition there, especially how stacked the AFC is this year alone. And that's why I got Wilson at number 7. Going into our next one right here. This is what's gonna be interesting, especially how number 6 and 5 is gonna turn out to be. So at number 6, I do have the runner-ups, Joe Burrow, or how they call it, Joe Brr, or Joe Shiesty. So Joe Burrow, phenomenal comeback player last year to watch after he suffered an ACL the previous year, coming back great, especially having Jamar Chase, T. Higgins on his team there, Joe Mixon coming up big as well. When they also had CJ Ozama last year, which he's now with the New York Jets. Great, phenomenal last year. He was great, especially games like against Baltimore Ravens, the Steelers. He also was great against the Chiefs and including the playoffs last year, giving them great hype there. Now, this offseason, they bring up more protection for Joe Burrow, giving the great protection that he needed the most, especially if you look back in that Super Bowl and throughout the year, actually, if you notice the blitz, especially that Titans game in the AAC divisional game. Man, they were getting after Joe Burrow. He had a run for his life, getting sacked 11 times that game, and they still managed to win that, but they managed to get 4 new offensive linemen to help protect Joe Burrow succeed into this year in this year of the NFL. Also looking into Burrow's completion rate is at the best at 70%, going 34 touchdowns to 14 interception ratio there. Now his QBR is going to be lower than Justin Herbert, which would be our number 5. Going into our top 5 now. We just went through 6 through 10. Now going to our number 5 will be Justin Herbert. Yes, I have him over Joe Burrow. Why is that? So, you look at Burrow and you look at Justin Herbert. Yes, you can make that argument that Burrow made it further than Herbert. Herbert has not experienced the playoffs there. But you look at both teams, you look at the weaponry around for them. Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. You still got Mike Williams into the mix there. If you look at Joe Burrow, you look at Joe Mixon, you look at Jamar Chase, you look at T. Higgins, for example. Great combination there. They're both equally there. Now, where they come difference is, obviously, you look at completions right now. Yes, Joe Burrow had the best completions, 70% compared to 68. But you also got to look at their QBR rating. Justin Herbert, 65.4 compared to Joe Burrow's 53.2. Comes with a huge factor there, especially QBR rating there. Yes, Herbert had some missed moments there, especially against the Houston Texans. That was an ugly game, especially there. Kansas City Chiefs was another ugly game. The Raiders, especially the last week, that could have got the Chargers into the playoffs, was also another ugly week, especially for his completions there. But I do see success with Justin Herbert coming into this new year there. I think I want to see another year for Joe Burrow there, making sure this is not no fluke year. I think he's still going to be successful for the NFL. That's why I have Burrow at 6, and that's why I have Herbert at 5 at this point in time. Going to our number 4 will be the GOAT himself, Tom Brady, or how Tampa Bay fans call him, Tampa Bay Brady. Tampa Brady. Now, why do I have to go at 4 instead of, let's say, 3, 2, or 1? Let's be real. Brady is aging. I don't know how many times you probably heard that. Probably years and years and years and years. Yes, his arm strength is still there, but of course, he's still an aging quarterback. If one hit hits him, might be dangerous there. Yes, he had some great stats last year. He had over 5,000 passing yards, a QBR of 68.1, especially going 43 and 14 from touchdown and interception ratio. Yes, he has some great weapons this coming season. Chris Godwin coming back from ACL injury, Mike Evans, even added Julio Jones to the mix. He might bring you some valuable there or not. Cameron Brate is also still there, who's trying to fill Robert Gronkowski, which is fairly impossible, especially a lost Rob Gronkowski for the whole entire season due to his retirement. I just see a little bit of a down year for Brady there. I had him a little bit up last year, maybe even getting him above right there from the top fives. But I just really see him slowly but surely this year going downwards, just a tad bit. I want to say a huge difference. I thought he was going to go on to the sunset and wave goodbye. Especially he has that great deal for Fox as of right now. Looking at Brady right now, with the team that he is surrounded with, and looking based upon from last season alone, he will be at the number 4 spot. Going into our top 3 now, it's going to make it more interesting here. So at number 3, I do have Josh Allen, or I like to call him the Allen destroying my fence. Why do I have Allen at number 3? You look at him last year, he was phenomenal. Of course, there were some games like the Jaguars, for example, where he should have not lost. There were some games where they should have not lost, but they dominate games just like the Chiefs in the regular season. We're not going to talk about the playoffs for Josh Allen, especially with that 13 seconds. But looking at his passing game, he had more than 4,000 yards, 36 touchdowns to 15 interceptions. He has to work on his interceptions there. That's where he kind of errors a lot of his mistakes there. His run and pass ability is going to be phenomenal. Hopefully, they'll have a running game there. That's why the reason why they did get Cook in the draft here. Try to get at least a little bit better than Zach Moss or Devin Singletary, for example. And then they also have Stephon Diggs. They still got Jameson Crowder and also Dawson Knox, for example. But I really do feel that Allen this upcoming season is going to be phenomenal. I feel they're going to be a 13-4 team, especially in total. But for Allen, I think this is his time to succeed and go up to the next level and win a championship for the Buffalo Bills. Now going to our top 2, which is also another great debate. The Mahomes or Rodgers. I have Mahomes at number 2. Let me tell you why I have Mahomes at number 2. They did lose Tyreek Hill in this offseason. Yes. But they've had a couple of key players there as well. They also added Juju Smith, Sky Moore to add to the mix. They also have McCole Hartman there as well. Travis Kelsey is still in the mix as well. You still have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who will give you some running back abilities there. Yes, Mahomes did struggle last season. If you look at it, was there going to be a little deplete in the Chiefs team altogether? Yes, I really do feel that they're going to decline a little bit there. But you do not forget about Mahomes. Just because they have Tyreek Hill doesn't mean he can't be successful. Looking back at Mahomes last season, went over 4,000 yards. He was 37 for 13. He did struggle earlier on in the season, mind you that. He had a 62.2 QBR rating. He had some great moments. He had some great games, and he had some shaky ones, especially in the beginning. He didn't look like himself. It looked like he was going for a down year. But even for a down year for a quarterback of Mahomes, made it all the way to the AFC Championship to play against Joe Burrow. It's still phenomenal, still great. I still have them going to the playoffs there, and that's why I have them number 2. And then coming up to our last one right here, our number 1 is the MVP himself, back-to-back MVP quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Yes, I do have Aaron Rodgers as number 1. The reason for that being, you look at his quarterback stats there, went over 4,000 yards, just like Mahomes, went 37 and 4, comparing the QBR rate from to Mahomes and Rodgers, 69.2 to compare to 62.2. For a prime example, yes, the Rodgers did struggle in the early beginning. Yes, he did, but he all throughout the season was very phenomenal. Didn't have too much of struggles there. You could have said Brady could have a chance at MVP, but I really felt that Rodgers staying at the number 1 position, back-to-back MVPs, still in the playoffs, has not got back to the Super Bowl since 2010-11 season. It's been a long time for Rodgers there, but coming on to the season there, yes, he lost Devontae Adams, but they still got Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, they still got Alan Zard, Amari Rodgers. They have a 4th-round pick that they got from Nevada this season as well. Robert Tonyan coming back from his injuries there. Trust me, Rodgers, whatever receiver he got, can make him to a superstar. I'm saying this is right now. This is why I have Rodgers over Mahomes. Even though Mahomes has more chance of the weapons he has around him, I think Rodgers, with his phenomenal year they had last season, will apply to that, to his new weapons that he has on his offense, and especially he's still gonna have the run game there for him as well, especially with AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones splitting the backs there, going alongside Rodgers for a successful season. And that's going to be my top 10, everybody. Let me know what you think in the comment section there. First time ever doing these type of rankings myself. We'll be doing better as we keep going along with our rankings there. Up next, our rankings will be our wide receivers for the top 10 wide receivers. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree with this list? Do you not agree with this? Let me know. Just let me know. But until then, I will see you guys on the next episode. Until then, I'll see you then. Peace.